All right, hey, what's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you. It is 9 Minutes with me on IGTV, YouTube, and Facebook. Of course, you can get me on Twitter at Mike L Sports, and make sure to search me on Snapchat and Instagram, Mike L Sports 1979. You can visit pinstripepassion.com for my Yankees and baseball commentary, and of course, download my podcast. I just did one a couple hours ago, Bills-Packers preview for Sunday. We've had Mike Lombardi on lately, NFL front office guy. I've got Armin Katayan on tomorrow to talk about his book that he co-authored with Jeff Benedict on Tiger Woods. I've had a slew of other big-time guests on lately, so make sure you go download my podcast, ML Sports Platter, via Spotify, Google Play Music, and iTunes. We're brought to you here today on this video by the Brewerton Diner. If you're in and around Central New York, right off the Bartow Road exit, you got to go there and have their breakfast. Try the Brewerton Benedict. Try their sausage and eggs. Amazing stuff. Natural oils, natural butter, and all the rest of it. And then for lunch, they got the burger, the hero, the patty melt. They've got soups. It's tremendous. Go to the Brewerton Diner. And don't forget, every single Tuesday from open to close, you can get chicken and waffles. That's right. So go to the Brewerton Diner, the official diner of the ML Sports Platter. We're also brought to you by Bryant and Stratton College, Welch & Company Jewelers, and Lakeshore Yacht and Country Club. When you take a look here at the MVPs in the major leagues, I was so all in on Mookie Betts. As I record this, he becomes another member of the 30-30 club. This guy has had a tremendous season. He's on the best team in baseball in the Boston Red Sox. 125 runs, 176 hits, 343 batting average, 639 slugging, 1073 OPS. He's got an OBP of 434. I was all in, like slam dunk all in, until the last 5 weeks happened for Mike Trout. Do you realize that Mike Trout, believe it or not, even with the injury, has played 3 more games than Mookie Betts, and he has 99 runs, okay? He has 145 hits, 119 walks, 315 batting average. His OBP is 461, okay? You thought Mookie Betts' was good at 434. Mike Trout's OBP is 27 on top of that percentage points. And then you look at the slugging percentage for Mike Trout. It's at 631, which is close to the 639 of Mookie. And the OPS is at 1.093. Mike Trout has 38 home runs. He's got 291 total bases. It's tough because Mike Trout, every single year we go through this, he's on a team that isn't going to make the playoffs. Period. End of discussion. They're in contract hell with Albert Pujols. They never have enough pitching. There's always a key injury or two to the team. Their bullpen's always a shit show. You wonder if Mike Scioscia's days are up there. To me, it is about Mike Trout and it is about Mookie Betts. It is a 2-horse race for the AL MVP. I know people are saying JD Martinez and all that. I know he could be up for a triple crown and all that, but I don't think he impacts the lineup and impacts the game even as much as Mookie Betts. I think Mookie Betts is a better fielder. His arm leaves a little something to be desired, but he's the overall 5-tool guy, and you see the 30-30 club here today as well. I was all in on Mookie Betts as the MVP until Mike Trout started to have this 5-week run. However, even though the gap is closed, even though I still think Mike Trout's the best player in baseball, I'm actually going to pick Mookie Betts as my American League MVP as we get close to the end of the season. I mean, if it's about the best player, who's the best player, Betts or Trout? It's obviously Trout. But right now, who's had the better season? I don't know as if you can take away from Mookie Betts, who's been doing it basically the entire season. I know 3 games less played, believe it or not, even with the injury than Mike Trout. Betts had a little bit of injury problems there as well. But the reality is, I think Mookie Betts is just from start to finish flat out. I think he's just had a bit of a better year. I mean, I think that's all there is to it. And so I would give Mookie Betts the MVP in the American League. Remember, Betts got placed on that 10-day DL with that abdominal strain on June 1st. So that's where he missed a lot of his injuries. But you cannot argue with Mookie Betts. You cannot argue with the season he's had. He impacts the game on the bases, in the field, at the plate. He is an absolute sabermetric guy. You look at the OBP, you look at the slugging, hits for average, hits for power. He's just been terrific, and I think he's the key cog in that lineup for the Boston Red Sox. I realize JD Martinez is probably the biggest difference maker in terms of that team and why they've won well over 100 games and why they basically blew the Yankees away in the AL East. But I think for sure that Mookie Betts, is the MVP, and I think he's the guy who makes it really go. Remember when Mike Trout got injured, of course, earlier this year, he was in probably that same company as a lot of other guys have been. Oh my God, is he always going to be hurt? Is this going to be the constant story with this guy? And he got hurt last year with that thumb, and it cost him, and he was out 6 to 8 weeks there. But he has had an unbelievable end of the year. If they give it to Mike Trout, obviously, I have zero issues with that. The guy's the best player in the game. I just think as far as 2018 in the season, Mookie Betts is the MVP. Over in the National League, I got to tell you, you go between Javier Baez of the Cubs, you think about Matt Carpenter of the Cardinals and all the rest. Folks, Christian Yellich of the Milwaukee Brewers. I thought in the offseason the three biggest signings were not Yu Darvish. It was not Shohei Ohtani. I thought it was Lorenzo Cain and Christian Yellich over to the Milwaukee Brewers and Jake Arrieta signing with the Philadelphia Phillies to help that young staff headed up by Aaron Nola. When you look at Christian Yellich, this is an ultimate five-tool player. As a Yankee fan, I want nothing to do with Giancarlo Stanton. Why? Because the guy is absolutely boom or bust. Christian Yellich, way more consistent. Hits for average, hits for power. He's got really awesome timing at the plate. He hits it into the gaps and all the rest. He's young. He's 26 years old. And when you take a look at what he does in the field, he plays a very, very nice outfield. And look at the numbers from Christian Yellich. And by the way, a lot of what happens with the MVP, what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me in the last 3, 4, 5 weeks of the season when all these games are magnified that much more? I love the anti-baseball person. Oh, they play so many games that they don't matter in April. Wrong. You can lose the pennant in April. I should say pennant because of the division right before the pennant. But you can lose a division. You can't win it in April, but you can certainly lose it. Well, if you have a horrendous April, a shitty May, an average June, a really great July, an elite August, an elite September, you might still go to the postseason. Milwaukee looks like they will go to the playoffs, whether it's the wild card, first wild card, or winning the NL Central. And a lot of that has to do with Yellich. Yellich, every single night, if you look up, he's got a couple of hits. He's got another home run. This guy is 104 RBI. He's a 100 RBI guy this year, 33 home runs. Batting average doesn't mean as much as the sabermetric guys, but you can't ignore it when you hit 321. OBP is 390, pretty solid. How about the slugging? 583 and a 973 OPS. And then when you take a look at hits and total bases, 181 and 328 respectively. Christian Yellich, an absolute five-tool player who's getting it done for a Brewer team that will be in the postseason, and the guy who has made his money, has made his MVP money in the last couple months of the season. So Mookie Betts, Christian Yellich, boom. If they give it to somebody besides Yellich, I probably wouldn't agree with it, but would understand it. If they give it to Mike Trout, duh, he's the best player in baseball and has been the biggest challenger to Mookie the last 5 or 6 weeks with his unbelievable numbers. I'm Mike Lindsley. Thanks for watching 9 Minutes with me on IGTV, YouTube, and Facebook. Get me on Twitter at Mike L Sports. We're brought to you by the Allen Angus Pub, Timberbanks Golf Club, Welch & Company Jewelers, Wagurski Law Firm, and our great friend Brian Comboy at Mass Mutual New York State. Go with Brian today. Put away money today and save for tomorrow. Brian is terrific. He will help you with your financial planning. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.